Sengoku BASARA. Essentially, it's Capcom's answer to Koei's Samurai Warrior series, in that they're both hack and slashes that take place in feudal Japan, but Sengoku BASARA focuses on visual flair and has no shortages of obvious anachronisms. These aside, that's not to say that Sengoku BASARA fails to implement historically influenced details in its character creation. And today, as an example, I'm picking a character that many would consider to be a wild card. I'm the Kitsune Hawk, and today we're going to talk about the mysterious self-proclaimed god of war, Uesugi Kenshin. So get out your pencils, trivia enthusiasts, because this is character development. At first glance, Sengoku Basara's depiction of Uesugi Kenshin is an odd one. He's never referred to by a specific gender in the Japanese versions and has a fittingly androgynous appearance and voice, in spite of frequently calling him/herself a god of war. For this, let's back up a bit to talk about the historical Uesugi Kenshin. Uesugi Kenshin was born Nagao Kagetora, the son of an already powerful warlord, and earned the right to lead the Nagao clan after defeating his brother in a series of battles. He gained control of the Uesugi clan after willingly adopting their last name, and changed his first name to Kenshin after becoming a Buddhist monk. Kenshin was a devout worshipper of Bishamonten, the Buddhist god of war, with some saying that he went as far as to say that he was an avatar of Bishamonten. Kenshin became one of Japan's most powerful warlords, rivaled only by Takeda Shingen, and their 5 campaigns against each other at Kawanakajima are legends in and of themselves. With all of this in mind, let's look back to Sengoku Basara. Kenshin's outfit has the signature white hood and light armor associated with Buddhist warrior monks. Furthermore, Kenshin's battle standards include both the crest of the Uesugi clan and the first kanji in Bishamonten, same as the historical Kenshin. Let's also not forget that Kenshin has a clear rivalry with Takeda Shingen, and in every Sengoku Basara game, Kenshin's home stage is somewhere at Kawanakajima, where Kenshin's most famous campaigns took place. Now let's take another step back to discuss why even the series' creators are not sure about Kenshin's gender. The real-life Uesugi Kenshin never married or had children, which was rather strange at the time, leading many to tell tales that Kenshin was actually a woman in disguise. Not only does Kenshin's gender-neutral appearance and voice play off of this historical theory, but the Japanese versions of the Sengoku Basara games take this 2 steps further, in that A, Kenshin is not referred to with any sort of gender-specific pronoun, and B, that his/her speech is almost entirely written in hiragana. Historically speaking, hiragana began as a simplified version of kanji. Kanji were derived from the Chinese language and were seen as the language of poetry, art, and, in general, higher education. Because women had fewer educational opportunities than men, it became commonplace for women to write entirely in hiragana, and for men to write entirely in kanji, though it wasn't too long before the 2 styles mixed into using both hiragana and kanji for both genders. The last detail I'd like to focus on is Kenshin's fighting style, which is based on the Japanese martial art of Iaido. Iaido is centered on suddenly unsheathing the user's sword to deal a single and swift killing blow. It's a difficult skill to learn as it requires reaction to an opponent's stance and method of attack. Uesugi Kenshin has often been described as a devoted martial artist, so it makes sense for a Sengoku Basara counterpart to show clear mastery over an advanced martial art. Also notable is that Kenshin's sword is a straight blade instead of a curved blade. Straight swords were used in Japanese warfare, but long before the events of the Sengoku Jidai, where curved swords like katana and tachi were the preferred weapon of choice. This may be a bit of a stretch, but I'd like to say this has to do with the historical Uesugi Kenshin and his relationship with Takeda Shingen. You see, even though Kenshin and Shingen were rivals, they were said to have exchanged gifts with each other, including one occasion when Shingen gave Kenshin a cherished sword, possibly an heirloom of the Takeda family. If that's the case, there's certainly a possibility that such a sword would be a straight blade. While Sengoku Basara is known for taking a great number of creative liberties with its historical source material, that doesn't mean that it abandons said source material completely, and if anything, the series is quite clever with how it portrays its characters. And Uesugi Kenshin is easily one of the strongest examples. When you really put your mind to it, you can learn quite a bit about the real-life Kenshin from looking into the details. This has been Character Development. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to leave your feedback, suggestions, and criticism in the comments section below. If you're in the mood for even more trivia, you can use the annotation on the right to watch the previous episode on the Magypsies from Mother 3. Usually at the end of these videos, I link the left annotation to a fellow content creator, but today I'm using it to link to a podcast in which the creators of Total War Shogun 2 sat down to interview historian Stephen Turnbull to talk about feudal Japanese history. I've read many of Professor Turnbull's books, and even used a couple of them in verifying the information presented in this video. Thanks again for watching, and take care.